When the parents came home from church, all their children were gone. They searched and called for them, they cried and begged, but it was all to no avail. The children have never been seen again.
How you doing, guys, and welcome to another episode of my PlayStation Plus Roundup. This time I'll be taking a look at the two free PlayStation Plus games available in July 2018. The first game available is Heavy Rain, which was released all the way back in February 2010. However, it was re-released for the PlayStation 4 in March 2016. Now, this game was made by the same development team that made Beyond Two Souls. Because of that, the gameplay is very similar. So, if you've already watched my video on Beyond Two Souls, then you already know what to expect from this game in terms of gameplay. If you haven't already seen my Beyond Two Souls video, then let me just explain what kind of gameplay you can expect. The majority of the game is played out in either quick time events or choice-based talking sections, where you, as the player, can control what your character can say and how they can act during a conversation. Because of this, Heavy Rain plays out more like an interactive movie than it does a video game, so it goes without saying, but this game is not going to be for everyone. If you're a fan of story-based games that really pull you in, then chances are you are going to enjoy your experience with Heavy Rain. However, if you don't really care about story and you find yourself skipping cutscenes a lot of the time just so you can get back into the action, then I would suggest avoiding this game, as it's pretty much all cutscenes. Now, without going into spoiler territory, the basic story of this game is there's a serial killer on the loose who kidnaps small boys during the raining season, and then locks them in a container that slowly fills with rainwater over the next few days and eventually drowns the child. During the course of the game, you'll control 4 different characters who are each racing against time to try and find the latest little boy who has been kidnapped before the rainwater can drown him. The first character is the father of the kidnapped boy, who's trying desperately to save his son. The second is a journalist who's covering the story of the killer. The third is an FBI agent who's been assigned to the case, and the fourth is a private investigator who's been hired by the families of previous victims to try and find the killer. What's great about this is at the start of the game, none of these 4 characters know each other. But as the story plays out, they naturally keep crossing paths with each other in their own desperate attempts to try and find this little boy. The story itself is really interesting, however, the game's problems can sometimes really get in the way of this. For example, the voice acting in this game is 50-50. Half the time it's really good, but the other times it's so shit it's unbelievable. The same can be said about the graphics and character models as well. Sometimes it's like the heads and faces of the characters just don't match up with their bodies. But I guess I can't be too critical about that, considering that this game was made over 8 years ago. What I can be critical with, however, is the god-awful controls. In between quick-time events and talking sequences, you'll be able to freely walk your character around. However, instead of using the analog stick to move a character forwards, backwards, left or right, like any normal game would do, instead this game throws normal completely out of the window, and instead has you holding the R2 button down to move your character in the direction they're already facing, and then using the left on analog stick to change direction while they're moving. This becomes incredibly annoying when the camera angle just changes suddenly and you have your character facing a completely opposite direction to where you wanted to go. I can let the graphics slide because of the age of this game, but I cannot let the controls slide, which are, to be honest, inexcusable. Especially when you consider that this game is a re-release and they could have very easily have fixed them, especially after so many players complained about them the first time around. If you're a fan of story-based games and can overlook the problems I've mentioned, then there's a lot to enjoy about this game. The quick time events are plentiful, but that doesn't really matter because they really work. If you're in a chase scene for example, it can really get your pulse racing as the bottom prompts appear on screen and you have mere seconds to react to them or risk failing. There's no game over or try again screen for this game, so if you do fail a quick time event, the story will just carry on but with a different outcome in it. In some instances, your character can even die if you're not quick enough. Again, there's no game over screen, so if this does happen, the story will just continue and play out and you'll have to suffer the consequences, because this game has multiple endings. Again, just like I said in my Beyond Two Souls video, it's very hard for me to either recommend or not recommend this game, because it all comes down to player preference. If you are the kind of player that does love a good story, then yeah, you can probably enjoy this game. I know I did. But if you're the kind of player that really has no interest in that stuff, then chances are this game is not for you. It all comes down to the individual gamer and what they look for when playing the game. However, if like me you are interested in this kind of thing and you do have PlayStation Plus, then you can download this game right now absolutely free. Now, I can't really say much more about this game, because as I've already said, it's all story based. So if I continue to talk, then there's a good chance that I'm going to spoil some major story spoilers, and that really isn't my place to do. So instead, I'm just going to end the video here. Thank you for watching guys, that was my look at the PlayStation Plus games for July 2018. I'll be bringing a video back where I'll be taking a look at the second game available on offer. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Ah!